Look, I can shut up a bit stuff, right?
I'm just happy to be here.
We do have a couple of dwarfs in the party. Beard care is important.
One is a reasonable size and one is just tiny.
Yeah.
I'm still working on the beard too. I'm not sure how that works yet.
It's right. Just find a belt dwarven kind and we'll grow a beard. It's fine.
Only if she can.
Yeah. We
could forever refute the tiny bit dwarf.
I mean, technically, any being is capable of growing a beard at some point in their life.
Other than an elf.
And a dragonborn.
Well, dragonborns don't have skin, they have scales. That's different.
Yeah, which means they're incapable of growing a beard.
In that case, so are lizard folk.
Yeah, fair. Don't forget about the lizard folk. You just saying lizard folk and dragonborn are just excluded from this because they can't grow a beard because of their racial profiling. But come on.
Don't get me started on this, Ross.
We have wishes. We could give Chris a beard.
Oh my god.
Chris's face.
We have 2 wishes. We really could.
We could change fate in general and make Dragonborn be.
No. The
Why?
fate card lets you remove an event from history. It does not allow you to fuck with the space-time continuum.
But surely there's an event at some point which stopped them from growing a beard.
Yes, descent from dragons.
But if we mess around with fate to that extent, we will probably have them the only race who can grow a beard.
Oh my god.
Okay, kids, we're moving on now.
So I guess he would really be Santa Claus.
To bring this herd of fucking cats back.
We are off to a great fucking start. Don't even give us that, Ross.
I'm giving you that. Fucking shush you, Albert. Look.
You bitch!
Right, you're going in the fucking tunnel.
Right.
Where's the fucking queen? Right? There she is. Goodbye, Courtney.
Bring Courtney back.
I'm going to bring Courtney back.
Rain, you better stop this shit right now.
So look, you guys have been pissing around for so long. The rain has started again.
Okay.
Some guys have been pissing around, but it's now properly raining. Can you hear that?
You're welcome. Yes.
We can hear it, but we can also hear
just
you
barely.
Play nice and clearly.
Yeah.
So, where you guys left off?
Yeah.
The party had finally reassembled in their home tavern.
I'm leaving.
And can I finish my fucking sentence?
No, I just like your day.
Good luck fucking editing this later. You're just screwing yourself now. It's your own time you're wasting.
I'm not editing this out.
Right, well. So the party have finally reconvened in their home tavern after the trial, air quotes, of Retsam and some other shenanigans, and the birthday party for Zanzyk, who finally decided to declare himself an adult. Congratulations. And the Queen of Primor, in line with a previous promise, offered Retsam a chance to draw from the deck of many things, which he did surprisingly well with. Not gonna lie. And so, after the various high-profile people who had apparently decided to join you in the tavern for a time had departed, Chris stumbled out of the back room holding a severed arm with 4 crossbow rounds in his torso, which he was promptly healed. He promptly just chucked the severed arm somewhere and was like, I'm going to bed. And promptly stomped up to bed.
It's still in the kitchen.
Yeah, the severed arm is still on the floor in the kitchen. So that is about where we rejoin the party. At the end of a series of very long days, severed arm on the floor in front of them, and the chef, Chris's protege, is just sat down on the floor looking at the severed arm, just like, what the fuck?
Zanzyk shrugs.
Claire, I didn't hear that if you said something.
Zanzyk shrugs.
The chef sort of shuffles over, uses the other end of his wooden spoon to poke the severed arm.
Alice looks out the window. I'm assuming she can't see anything. She'll be looking out into the garden, won't she?
Yep, you're looking out into the garden. You can see nothing. There is, however, that window, however, is broken.
There's going to be a shit lot of blood leading off because we have the other.
If I remember correctly, Chris made the window suck back up into itself and fix itself.
Sorry, yes, it had sucked itself back together and fixed itself. You're quite right.
Okay.
My apologies, that's my memory failing me.
Alice will go through the door and see if she can see anything in the garden. Like, I don't know, a blood trail or something.
So you can roll me as you head outside, you can roll me a perception check.
I'd like to follow her and try and do exactly the same.
Okay.
That is an unfortunate 11.
Ooh. Blitz, you can also roll me a perception check. In the dark, you guys, as it is very much quite late in the day now, you don't see any blood trails, which is odd. You get the impression they're probably obscured inside the plants somewhere.
I would also argue dark vision's grayscale, so you wouldn't necessarily see it anyway.
Exactly.
She just shrugs and goes back inside. It's like, can't do anything now. I'm going to bed. We'll head up to bed.
I'm going to go back.
Hi, this is future editing Claire. Just jumping in. Now, the rain got so bad, I actually had to cut some of the recording. So, just to catch you up on what happens, the party finished their conversation. Zanzyk told Azantis to put the arm out in the far composting bin in the garden, and then Blitz, everyone went to bed with the exception of Blitz, who decided to go out and look for one of our friendly neighborhood orphans, who and when we're going to rejoin that conversation he's having with the orphan.
Don't want the answer to.
But I do want the answer to. And we're digressing.
Yes.
We've just had an attack on our.
I know. I saw.
Did you see who the culprit was?
Nope, because they were wearing a cloak and a hood.
Do you see where they went?
Into the city.
Okay, if you could possibly find out, because they actually
Can I
attacked Chris.
Just reiterate something to you really quickly, mister.
Okay, Mrs.
They frown looking at you and they're not, like, they just look at you as like, okay, first of all, that's not how that works. Secondly, let me just put this in context for you. I am a child. As they say, like, pointing at themselves, I am also very small. I don't want to get shot.
Right. Okay.
So, no, I'm not going to go look after go and try and find somebody who just
That's
shot
fine.
your guy.
Okay, that's fine. All right.
That is
If
what
any
you have
news
to
comes
do.
up about, if any news or whispers come up about someone who's targeting Chris, I would be very interested in finding out about it.
Okay.
Shall we leave it at that?
Do you want them weekly, daily?
Just when real information comes, not just random whatever.
He like starts counting on his fingers. In which case, I probably have 15 different reports for you already.
But it's only just happened.
Yeah, Chris is popular.
No, I just want to know who attacked Chris. That's it.
Oh, you want to know about that particular attack? Okay, well, there's a lot of suspects.
Okay, well, I want the suspect, not a lot.
Well, you
Okay.
probably want to look at the Assassin's Guild, don't you?
I probably do. Can you tell me why?
Well, I think the clue is in the name.
But why Chris and the Assassin's Guild?
If Chris hasn't talked to you about that, I'm not answering that question.
So I'm going to guess. Okay. Thank you very much.
Feel
If you're
free to
hungry,
guess.
I'm very good at guessing. Are you hungry? Do you want me to get some
Nope.
food?
I already pinched some bacon.
Yeah, I did some of that earlier as well. Okay. Well, if you need anything, we're inside. Just go around the back,
Uh-huh.
and then I'll head back in.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You head back inside. It's just your tavern.
I think after all the excitement today, I think I'm going to do what Alice has done and just go to bed then. Like, I thought it was closed, but
Tavern's always open.
all right. Maybe we need some security that isn't us or Chris. All right, I'm going to go to bed.
So for the rest of you, Blitz just sort of walks back into the tavern, looks around for a second, and just goes back upstairs to bed.
What time is it?
It is now time for the drow to take off his goggles. That's the time of day.
Awesome. Does that mean it's almost evening service?
No, because evening service is at like 2 a.m.
Okay, that's cool. Oh, I'm gonna wait till like midnight and then head to church.
Right. Okay.
When I know it'll be probably quiet.
Redsham and Zanzyk, what are you guys doing with the in the later evening?
Probably finishing off a drink and definitely not sleepy anymore, considering what just happened.
As you settle at the bar, a glass of what looks to be quite nice red wine is put in front of you.
Thank you.
We always know.
That you do.
No, to accompany that, I'd recommend a reasonable night's sleep.
I'll get to that.
Xantis, why do you not just put up your hut and sleep in it?
I mean, she actually has to stop and think about it because she hasn't done that in a long time. I mean, I'm here. I hadn't really thought about it for a while.
If you're not feeling secure. Chris said he had it handled. I trust him.
Okay. I think I'll do that, actually. She'll drain the wine glass and head upstairs.
That wine goes down very easily, even drinking it as you just have. And as you put it back down as empty, that one of the twins' hand just comes out, takes it, and just goes, "See, we always know." It goes down a treat, doesn't it?
It does. Next time I'll have to slow down
Sip
a little bit
it.
and do it justice.
Please do.
Drink wine like a normal ass human being.
Or a normal ass gnome in your case.
Tiny dwarf, I think, is the correct term.
Yes, but we always know.
That you do. Puts the glass down, hops off the stool, and heads upstairs.
The one of them looks at you, Zance, because you're hovering near the bar.
I'm just slowly drinking whatever drink I've given. Not getting drunk.
You have been given a glass of white wine.
Then
This
I'm
type of
slowly...
This type of white wine is generally served at the beginning of someone's evening, rather than at the end.
It's fine. He's just generally chilling. Sat back.
Master Redsam, they say quietly, as you're stood not too far away, Redsam.
Good evening.
An ale, sir?
I will take a small keg of ale in the garden.
As you say that, the elves look at you and they just sort of put like blink and they look at you and they both pick a single keg and they look at each other. And you see them like there's a moment where they're clearly communicating in some way, and then one of them turns and hands you a keg.
Can I check to see if like there's a blinking of eyes?
Roll me a perception check.
I'm going to roll you a perception check. That's a 14.
You do perceive that they were their facial expressions, muscles were twitching ever so slightly, as if they were. you get the impression they know each other. Like, obviously, they know each other back to front, so they know roughly what the other. Even the very twitch of someone's facial muscle means to them. As you are holding the keg, they place a beer tap on top for you, so you can tap it yourself.
I take the keg. I take a glass. I head into the garden so that my curse of drinking won't bother anyone.
Mm-hmm. The hummingbird is just sat on your tree.
Well, while I am with the hummingbird in the garden, I will spend some time meditating and drinking at the same time.
Understandable.
It's called a drinkitation. It's a modern rage that's going through all of the dwarven druid cities.
So
the well-known dwarven druid city
of where we are right now.
Just you.
Yeah.
Okay. So you settle down. I'm assuming you sit in part of the garden.
Yes.
Okay. So
after everything that went on, he's going to try and get closer to nature than just sketching leaves.
Mm-hmm. The hummingbird settles on the keg as you tap it and start pouring yourself a glass. If you're going to meditate, you can roll me a wisdom check.
That would be an 8.
You still feel the pull of nature, but it's as you're sipping the beer as you're doing it, it's like that concentration, that attachment to the physical sensation of drinking is not helping you at this point.
Well, I think considering like he's just glad to be home, so it's going to be like just drawing into the dirt the gear symbol of Gond.
Mm-hmm. To add a bit of further explanation, it's very much like the current level you're attached to. Like that sensation of the beer, that taste is heightened while you're trying to meditate, and it feels very much like it's constraining you to your physical vessel at this point. It's like you can't reach out the way you were before.
Yes. Well, I will make a mental note that maybe drinking whilst meditating is not the best of practices until we can actually get a drunken master paladin dwarf druid.
Perhaps being this not intoxicated isn't helping.
Well,
how long would you spend out meditating, Red Sam, before tiredness begins to wash over you?
I think maybe like considering that he's been like stuck in essentially a cell for days, he's not going to be rushing to another tiny room, so he's going to be a couple of hours.
Fair enough. So those few hours pass. Those of you that have gone to bed have gone to bed. Those of you who've gone up to cast your tiny hut so you can go to bed have done just that. So Xantis, as you're heading to sleep, you can roll me a charisma saving throw.
I'm sorry?
You should be.
I usually am. That's a 20.
Okay. You just hear a low chuckle as you drift off.
What? Where? Who did it sound like?
There was no way for it to come from anywhere. It just echoes in your head.
Do I have an idea of who it is?
You can't quite place it.
Do I get a familiar feeling of dread?
You do.
Oh boy.
But you do then drift off into sleep and it's undisturbed.
Okay.
Red Sam, you are out there for 7 more hours before it slowly begins to drizzle slightly.
After drinking a couple of pints, he will try that one more time at meditating before heading off to rest.
Okay. Roll another wisdom check, please.
spoilers within me.
Wait.
17.
So as you meditate through this, as you've consumed alcohol, it's much easier for you to let go of the physical binds, as the alcohol is like just like warming the edges of your senses, and you're pulled in a familiar way down to the tree, and then your hand is in the soil, and you're drawn down into the soil. Oh my god! Okay, so Red Sam, your sense of consciousness as the alcohol has warmed the edges of your mind, you're pulled down in that same way down into your arm, and then out, almost like a sonar pulse out into the soil. You see Zanzyk's garden. It's almost a confusing like mess of slightly different shades of green and blue. You see root systems. You see the tops of the plants. It's odd for a second, and you see yourself from an outside point of view, coloured in a variety of like sort of stone grey, and then you're captured in this like almost this black, like you're wrapped, like the metal of your armor seems to be like that black like wrapping around you, like there's no light passes through it, but through the gaps it's like stone grey with a couple of like speckles of green. It's odd. And wrapped around your arm is that sort of reddish brown pulsing of the tree. And you see sat on top of the keg in this odd pulse, you can see the hummingbird, who you see an oddly well-defined detail. Almost every single one of their feathers that your brain is just perceiving as a different color. It's almost mesmerizing to look at the hummingbird. And then with a snap, you're back in yourself, like blinking, as your eyes adjust to the grey scale that you're now seeing rather than the mirage of colours.
I look at the hummingbird and I say, "Is this the world how you see it?"
It tilts its head, and the wings come out, and it seems to shrug at you.
Well, little fella, it's time to get the first good night's rest in a God knows how long.
It tweets happily and like flies up as if to go in one of the windows. You get the impression it might have had some of your alcohol while you were meditating, as it flies straight into a pane of one of the windows. It just slides down.
I go to catch it.
You catch it without any difficulty, but it just slides down and just comically falls down into your hands. Just looks at you and blinks a few times.
Let's go the old-fashioned way. And I like raise him up to the tree on my arm.
It sort of flops against it. You hear this very faint, like almost hummingbird-esque snoring as it wheezes in and out.
And with that, I take what's left of the keg up to my room and then rest for the night.
Mm-hmm. Zanzyk.
Mm-hmm.
You apparently are burning the midnight oil this evening.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing with the time?
I would like to head to the church.
Okay, you head out of the tavern and up into the temple district. It takes you a little while to walk it that way, but you know how long
I'm
it's going
taking
to
my
take
time. I'm just relaxed.
you. Yeah, and you wander towards the familiar passageway down into the piping below the temple district for the temple to Illustri.
Mm-hmm.
Familiar two guards stood there, the drow, just sort of hovering.
I nod.
They nod at you. They don't really react otherwise.
And I head in.
You head in, and you are distinctly aware of the fact that the congregation appears to be settling down into different pews.
Oh, I was hoping actually to get there way before.
Oh, you want to get there way before?
Yeah, so it'd be quiet.
Right. Okay.
Not actually going for the service.
You want to go beforehand, so you're heading off what, like 11 p.m?
Yeah.
Okay, so you do rock up. They don't really react to your presence. As you walk in, it's kind of quiet. There's a couple of them milling about. You know almost immediately they're drow that are primarily there at the moment. There's none of the other races have appeared yet, as it's still You get the impression they're probably doing their best to catch as much shut-eye as they can.
Yep. I'm going to head straight to the... that's what I'm looking for. Is a very specific word. The font?
Mm-hmm.
Is it filled?
No. Why would it be filled?
It's in the church. Why would it not be?
Because people have broken in here before. Why would they just keep a load of holy water just on display? Are you going to ask?
Really okay. Arguably, then, if it's not filled, this is more of a player question.
Mm-hmm.
Zanzyk's spellbinding focus was literally given to him by God.
It acts as a spellcasting focus. It will not allow you to bypass those rules.
So
what are you trying to do and what are you specifying? Actually ask me the question
is this
rather than
focus
dancing
worth at least 1,000 gold? Would you argue his book is worth more than 1,000 gold?
Is it consumed?
No. You can have. It says such as.
I mean,
good
fucking luck getting that book evaluated because that was literally made by a god. So arguably, yes. Arguably, it's so priceless you can't put a monetary value on it.
Uh-huh.
It depends. Are you asking, is it worth 1,000 gold to a deity as a material component? Or is it worth 1,000 gold to a collector?
I mean, I'm not sure that this is spellbinding. It really matters.
I mean, it kind of does.
I don't think they really thought about worth in relation to collectors or gods when they were writing 5e.
If you were to sell it, it would cost you more than 1,000 gold. Therefore, it counts? Question mark.
We could argue. You could argue this for ages.
I am. That's why I'm asking you.
Sure, why not?
Okay. Then he will sit. He'll take a place directly in line of sight of the statue of Illustri and open the book.
Okay.
And I would like to cast Scrying. He does it very quietly. He's not trying to alarm people.
You take 10 minutes to openly cast a spell in the middle of the church.
Mm-hmm.
What do you need? What's your spell save DC?
That's a good question. 16. So I get a +5 to that, because I know him. I'm scrying on his brother, just so you know. So he has to be at 21.
Thank you for specifying the target of your scrying prior to. Is it, what can I say? Is it charisma?
Wisdom.
Ooh.
But yeah, it's DC is 21 for this one.
You are drawn out of your body into your book.
Mm-hmm.
There's a very polite. You know this is ethically questionable, right?
I appreciate.
Mm-hmm. Are you trying to make progress on your assigned task, are you, Zanzyk?
I was gracious enough to be given a second chance. It would be foolish of me to waste time.
Indeed. Punctuality is something that increasingly is important, but equally you must know the delicate nature of timing.
Even this act is selfish on my part.
I know, but you have to balance that against your own redemption. And then you're pushed away from the voice. Your mind is drawn, like you can see the back of your own head, but you realise you really need a haircut. And you're drawn out of the temple and into the sky above the city, like you zoom out. So you can see the city as a whole from above, almost like you're flying from a bird, and then suddenly you're ripped forward over the mountains. You see a red dragon like landing on a mountain. You zoom, the sensor you're in sort of zooms down past them. You see the dragon react to something nipping past it, and you see the gout of flame that ignites around you, as you're this sensor that darts down.
Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly you're passing through a hole into the darkness. It bobs and weaves through different horrendous caverns as you're drawn back below.
Define horrendous.
You're going to the Underdark. By definition,
But
everything
as I
is
remember the
horrendous.
Underdark.
These caverns you've never walked through, but you know you don't get a chance to see with the
I would
speed you're
expect
going.
them to be there. Yeah, correct.
Do you want to let me finish my fucking description?
I was
Thank
asking
you.
questions.
Yes, but I was mid-sentence, which is rude. And you're drawn back down to an Underdark. It's a passage that you recognise, but it's not where it was before. You didn't recognise any of the caverns around it as you zoom through them. And you'll come to a sickening halt. And you hear the clashing of blades.
Mm-hmm.
And slow groans as you see your brother. 2 scimitars in his hands, parrying what looked to be slow, strikes from diseased claws, carving one thing, might have once been a drow, you're not really sure. As he carves it open, spores spew forth from the injury. You note he has some sort of cloth covering around over his mouth, so he doesn't inhale the spores. He kicks the thing away as it twitches and spasms before it detonates in a huge burst of spores.
Mm-hmm.
And you note in these caverns mushrooms. So many mushrooms growing up between the rocks.
I almost feel at home.
No. These set you horribly ill at ease.
Is it worse than the woods?
Yes.
Okay.
Vastly worse. You note that where once you'd have motifs of Lolth and her ilk, they are covered by this grime. And just using mushroom sprouts just forming out around it and through it. Your brother is fighting. You see in the distance amongst the other great caverns and stalactites and stalagmites that form some of the great fortifications of your drow city. You see spellfire, conflict, and more of these horribly twisted former drow pulled forward, mutated by the spores that grow from them.
Mm-hmm. Well, Zanzyk isn't sleeping tonight.
Mm-hmm. Your brother begins moving, and you can see you're forced to stay within 10 feet of him at all times.
Mm-hmm.
You see him charge through several of these things, cutting them down fairly easily, narrowly avoiding the explosions and the after effect of these things' deaths. You see him, he reaches one of the ledges and he just vaults it over the darkness below.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a moment where, as he passes down into the darkness, you just see him free falling. There's a moment where the sensor is jerked away forcibly as if struck.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're looking at something that lurks in the shadow, something much larger than you. Its hand is gripping the sensor. And as you're forced to look at the hand, as the sensor tries to move down towards where your brother has disappeared to, you see that this huge hand is holding you between fingers, almost as if you're nothing but a gnat. And you note each bit of this finger, each small segment from joint to joint, seems to be made up of body parts fused together with the horrible sort of pus that forms mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
They're drow body parts.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a crack, and your vision has a crack down the middle. And you just hear a wheezing, horrible, "I see you." And then it cracks and shatters.
I presume I'm pulled back into myself.
It is the most horrible whiplash you've ever received. And as your eyes blink back into focus in your normal form, you are sprawled out underneath the altar to Illustri, and you have one of the priests is literally like pushing down your chest, giving you chest compressions.
I will move him very uncasually out of the way, grab my book, and I'm going to run upstairs and throw up.
Okay. You don't have time to get upstairs before you have to be sick.
I can try.
Roll me a Constitution saving throw.
I'm presuming this one's actually a disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
Because of things. 13.
You get to the foot of the stairs before your stomach tenses.
No, I got nothing for this.
And you throw up all over the bottom of the stairs. And onto someone's shoes.
I suppose I can have restoration issues.
No, that's not how poison works.
There's
a moment of, don't worry, I'll get that. And they see the hand, like you see the hand of the person you just vomited on just flicks. And they're cleaned. No, thankfully it's not. Instead, it looks to be an elven wizard of some description who has come down to investigate.
I'm sorry, and I just run past them.
Not a problem, young. Whoa! You want to shove him out of the way as you go up the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
You make it out the temple. Where'd you go?
I did hear us back to the tavern.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'll transform into. He's in the city, so probably like a dog.
Mm-hmm.
It just runs.
As you change into a dog, there's a yip, and Flicker runs with you.
Mm-hmm. I think he just keeps running.
Flicker runs with you for a little while before he starts getting tired. Because his primary diet is bacon and boot leather, so...
I think eventually, he'll come to a stop.
As you stop, Flicker just ports next to you, on a pop, and he just slides to a stop on his side, just, tongue out,
probably...
the tired fat dog that he is. You feed him bacon and boot leather. Tell me what's the nutritional value of both of those things.
I don't feed him anything, he just steals food.
Yeah, so...
and I think he'll stay there till sunrise.
Flicker just sits with you.
Or until his wild shape runs out.
Mm-hmm. Which for you is a certain number plus your druid level, isn't it?
It's 4 hours, it's half my druid level.
Oh, there you go then. If you do that, you're not going to have time to meditate.
He's not going to. He's not sleeping tonight.
Okay, well, you will start tomorrow with a level of exhaustion.
It's fine. It's like a normal state for him at the moment.
Okay. So the morning comes for everybody else. You awaken. All of you are nice and refreshed. Redstone, you're nudging on the edge of being very tired today because you stayed up quite late. But the three other members of the party, you wake. It's nice and restful. And you can hear the sound of, surprisingly, of singing from downstairs.
I didn't dream or anything, see anything after the the laugh. Just the laugh. Okay.
Just the laugh. You passed the
All
save.
right.
Congratulations.
Oh yeah. Okay. I would imagine I got up fairly early for what's normal for her.
Mm-hmm.
Which is still probably mid-morning, but
so who heads downstairs? Okay, everyone but including Alice. Okay, everyone and Alice. Zanzyk is not seen. You head downstairs, and Chris is surprisingly sat in front of the bar, not behind it today. You do notice he's not wearing his normal attire. Instead, he is wearing what looks to be some sort of straw hat perched oddly on his scaled head. He's wearing a Hawaiian shirt and cargo shorts.
Vacation time.
He's like a little case next to him on the floor. Yep.
That's not even remotely subtle, Chris.
I don't do subtle. I'm a large red dragonborn.
Well, it's
Chris,
about
I appreciate
time you took a trip.
He looks at you, Alice, and says, I'm a large red dragonborn. I don't do subtle.
Okay. And she looks at the baby. Shall we go pack?
Little kobold just looks at you. Pack. It tries the word.
Wait.
It just chooses.
Does kobold have clothes?
Little green
Have
kobold.
you been shopping for him yet?
Little green kobold.
No,
just has a
because
buzzer.
I've had him less than like 12 hours.
More than 12 hours at this point.
It depends what time the trial was.
It's in the mid morning.
Okay, so it probably been about
20.
just over 12 hours at this point. And yeah, she's like, no, we should probably go buy you clothes and then go pack.
Oh, that nice tailor is back in town. I bet he'd help you out.
She looks to Zanzyk. Do you want
Zanzyk
to
isn't
accompany
there.
me? Oh,
Zanzyk isn't there.
Zanzyk isn't there. I look around for Zanzyk
He is not present.
and go, where's the other one?
What other one?
Chris is like, there's
The
only two
mushroom
dwarves here.
druid.
Probably still asleep. I mean,
There's
Can't
Okay,
say I know
well-
who you're referring to.
One of the twins who is getting increased. Look, they look quite tired, like they've been up all night. He left at about 11 p.m. and hasn't returned.
is that weird? I wouldn't know. I'm usually asleep.
He's a drow.
That's why I'm saying I wouldn't
the
know.
only time of day he can venture out without wearing those ridiculous goggles.
That's fair.
They're not ridiculous. They're functional.
Can I just say out of character, I didn't know that Zanzyk was wearing goggles during the day.
He wears goggles or sunglasses. He has to, because otherwise he can't see.
I mean, it makes total sense. I just wasn't aware of it happening.
Anyone
Okay.
who you will know, most drow will wear them. If not all drow, bar the ones who are visually impaired.
Zanzyk has Ray-Bans.
Half drow, depending on which of their racial traits, I say racial traits, which of their unique characteristics they picked up from their parentage may have them. You would know in your interaction with the Ricklin, he does have a pair like that around his neck at all times, but he doesn't always wear them.
Hmm.
Alice will take her coin pouch and with Bubby on hip, disappear out and get some clothes before breakfast.
Did you just call that baby Bubby?
He's a Bubby.
That's my cat's name. Just saying.
The kobold's
I'm
like,
gonna
"Me no
hear
cat.
it and immediately think of my cat.
Me no cat. That's all that the kobold says.
Kitty. That's funny. Okay.
The kobold is just chewing one of his feet. Just shoved it into his own face.
Yep, that's perfectly fine. I'm gonna go shopping.
I'm going to come down to get some bacon.
You are provided a plate of porridge.
Bastards.
Plate of
A
porridge.
plate of porridge. They're not even giving you a bowl of porridge, they give you a plate of porridge.
And when everyone's awake and moving around, I'm going to go find that arm and bring it back and say, but not in the pub. Say, look, looks elven, I think.
Blitz walks back into the pub.
No, I said not bringing an arm in. I'm not going to do that.
Right, you're not bringing it back in, okay.
Not
Well, you
unless I've
should
got-
have, because then
gone
you
to go
could
and
tell
look at the
people
arm.
that it costs an arm and a leg to get a pint in here.
Ah.
Don't ask me where the leg
It
is.
hurts. It hurts.
He's even gone off
Damn
camera
it.
to laugh.
God. Ugh.
Well, sometimes with Silent, just like he comes out with jokes, they're just disarming.
Oh.
You got to give me a hand.
But they are harmless at the best of times.
Oh, you see, right now, because of what Chris could reach, he couldn't give you a leg up with that one. We've discussed Courtney so much she's left. Yeah, you remember the
Okay.
leg, but it's like, the arm. You remember the arm, not the leg. The arm. As I said, it is clearly elven. Like, are you going up to look at it again?
Absolutely.
Okay, you give me another investigation check.
Also for blood, because like I realised that yesterday was extremely horrible weather for me. Here we go.
The blood would be a separate roll. This is specifically for investigating the arm.
Did that come up?
Not yet. Yep, natural 20.
Great.
It is clearly, as far as you're looking at now in the light of the early morning, it is an elven arm.
Can I tell if it's male or female?
Nope.
Can I tell what type of elf?
A pale one. A lot of the time, you need to see the entire elf to sort of judge.
Is there any identification on there? Like a tattoo or anything like that?
As we covered last time you checked, there are no distinguishing marks.
Okay, check the nails. Are they well looked after?
It's odd. A couple of them are like muddied.
Okay, right. I guess that's because using a bow, you'd cover your 2 fingers like that, and these ones would be the ones that would be free.
Mm-hmm. That's a logical assumption.
I'll have to speak to Alice about that bit. And can I see a blood trail?
Roll me a perception check.
Don't fail me now. It's going to fail me.
You don't. Unfortunately, you are aware, however, that it began drizzling later in the evening.
Okay. I will go into the pub and put the arm under something like my... I don't even know if I have a cloak. I'm going to get an apron, take it in, and then show Red Sam, and I'm going to show anyone that's there that's not part of the party.
You walk in, you show Red Sam the severed arm.
Look what I found.
I'll keep that to yourself, mate.
It's not mine. I want to find the owner.
The other people at the bar are like, you have a severed arm. Both of the elves are about to go home for the morning. Like, you have a severed arm. Why do you have a severed arm? Like, I know we always know, but like, why? Why in here?
Wait.
Where's...
I got an experiment. Blitz, can I borrow that arm for a second?
Absolutely. I was going to actually wave with it to say goodnight to them, but here you go.
You can in a second. Twins, before you go, I'm going to put the hand out on the bar as if it's expecting a drink.
There's a small tumbler of vodka is put in front of it almost immediately, or a small shot of vodka is put in front of it.
Interesting. This is a vodka drinker.
This is very perturbing for us, they say. You're like in sync with each other.
I pass the hand back to Blitz and drink the vodka.
That felt very weird, so the twins say very carefully, please don't do that again.
Why did you bring it back inside? Why did you bring it in front of everyone?
Because I found something out.
Does that require bringing a separated body part in front of patrons?
All right, I'll take it upstairs to my room and leave it there.
What did you find?
Well, I'll have to wait for Alice, I think, but I found out, look, 2 clean fingers, 2 dirty fingers. Bow person, so we're looking for an archer that's an elf. I can't tell if it's male or female arm, though.
I mean, I figured we knew that, considering Chris
shot...
ran out of the kitchen with arrows in his chest.
Yeah, but this is someone who's...
Point of order, he did not. He fell out of the kitchen through the door with 4 crossbow bolts.
Crossbow bolts.
There is a significant difference between an arrow and a crossbow bolt.
Oh. Okay.
Sorry, this is why I said crossbow bolts the other day, not arrows.
So what we need to do is basically wait for Alice and get her opinion on what's gone on with this.
Okay, now you can take it upstairs.
Okay, right. See you later, guys.
To the severed arm up to his room.
Just before I go.
Actually, why are you taking it upstairs?
In case he gets lonely.
Just go. Oh.
Can I make out? Can I pretend that wasn't me? Can I?
No,
perform for ventriloquism.
Roll me a deception check.
Deception, you say?
Yeah.
16.
I'm impressed.
Anyone who wants to try and discern whether that was actually Red Sam can roll me an insight check.
Absolutely.
Come on.
Nope.
That came from somewhere in the tavern.
How many other people are in the tavern?
3. There's 3 patrons, the 2 elves, Chris, you guys, and like there's Bucket Boy who's still mopping up blood.
Red Sam looks over his shoulder. I am shocked at you people.
They're like, it wasn't us. There's no dwarves other than you and Azantis. Like, Azantis, it was definitely Red Sam.
You know what? You do you, buddy.
As
Not
the
what he's going to do with that hand, though.
as the elves go. Seriously, don't make me come make this more worse than it's going to be.
Sorry. I was in the rogue.
I was going to say Beth blinks. Sorry, Beth. Right.
Turns to the elves and be like, "This one might need a stiff drink before he heads upstairs."
Gonna high five the elves, both of them, and then go upstairs.
They literally don't even react. They step away.
Take it upstairs and then come back down. Not everything you hear about the churchyard is true.
Chris is just looking at you all going, you realise I've booked us all spots on a boat, right?
But we need
If you
to
go pack,
vacay.
and you want to go on vacay, go and pack.
Okay.
So we will cut to Alice and Zanzyk quickly. Alice, you head off in the direction of the tailor who works and lives on the what we'll call Noble Hill, which is like a third layer of the city that's above sort of the south side and is on the hill that is to the southern side of the city. Zanzyk, you see Alice heading up toward the Noble Hill from where you are in dog form.
I guess I'm not in dog form.
Okay, well, you're no longer in dog form then, in Zanzyk's form.
Does she see me?
No,
I'm...
she's walking the other direction. Unless Alice is actively looking for Zanzyk while she's walking.
No, not really.
Beth, can you dim me Alice's passive? Preferably in Zoom, so I can see it.
I think he'll just stay where he is.
He's
He's
not
not
going
really
to interact.
into people today.
Okay. So Alice, you make your way up across. As you get sort of toward Noble Hill, you realise almost immediately that the slope that goes up to the open sort of park area, it's gated and guarded. The gates are currently open, and there are what look to be town guards that just stood there either side. It also gets more. The stonework gets nicer as you go up into the city. Just not particularly, but it's it's almost noticeable. You pick up on it. You walk up into the Noble Hill through the little pathways of this nice open park, and you spot the tailor's building exactly where it has always been, except there's some differences to the building itself now. There are some much more, there's a load of, it looks to be stylized cloth that's draped across it to make it look more like a Greco-Roman style temple thing. There's cloth draped between mock-ups of marble art, plinths and columns.
Beth as a player approves.
It's odd because it's like a medieval building that's been dressed as a as a Greco style temple.
Yeah, Beth as a player approves. Alice, on the other hand, looks at it he really is kind of strange, and will then approach. Is the door open?
The door's closed. It does, however, say open on the sign that hangs behind the glass.
Then she will step inside.
You step inside to what is clearly a shop that's been undergoing some significant renovation work, as where it was previously a normal medieval front room. It's been opened up much more, so you can see back into the stock room.
Yeah.
There's still sort of a counter and a ledger and things like a cash, like a register machine. In the very vague sense of a machine, right? It's a pulley that pushes out. It's not fancy. But you can see as you walk in, the tailor down in the crafting, cutting fabric and working up on a mannequin. As you walk in, this rather tall sun elf turns and looks at you and goes, "Oh, hello.
Hi.
Are you here for some clothes?"
She holds up the baby kobold and goes, "I need some clothes for this one."
Kobold childling.
Yes.
Interesting. They have
May have adopted it yesterday. yesterday.
Okay, place them on the counter gently.
She
And
places them on the
please
counter.
Maintain your grip on the creature.
She maintains her grip on the creature.
The son of is wearing like a toga, right, with like a shirt under it. It's odd. It's like he's wearing a medieval like breasted shirt under like a toga. He saunters over. It's cold, okay? So he's wearing both, and like proper shoes. And it's like, please extend the little thing's arm. I need to take some measurements.
He does so.
The kobold is like trying to hold its foot while it's chewing as you lift one arm. It's just like rotates, like it leans into the movement.
I will make sure it doesn't fall over.
But yeah, like it rolls a little bit, and he takes a tape measure. And just like extends the tape measure. Okay, writes it down. The other arm as well, please.
I'm assuming it'll be a similar length.
You'd think so. Kobold are strange creatures. See, it's an inch shorter. Write it down. Like, if you wouldn't mind just wrapping this around the kobold, under the kobold thing's arms, please.
She does so.
Perfect. Takes like a neck measurement, like a tail measurement, like how round, like the width of the tail at the point, and then at the base. Interesting. It'll take me some time to build. How quickly do you need clothes for this one?
Well, we're going on holiday today.
Right. That will require some very quick work from myself then. I can repurpose some of the on the shelf stuff I have.
That's perfectly fine.
I have measurements for custom gear for later on if that's what you're after.
I will take anything for now.
Okay. What kind of attire are you looking for? Beach wear, winter wear, the whole shebang?
Beach wear, but something in case it gets cold too.
Nods. Okay. For the little one, for material costs, for customization fee, you're probably looking about 9-10 silver.
She will hand over a gold piece.
Oh, perfect. Okay, pops it in like under the desk, writes in the ledger. Wait a moment. Heads back out, he heads into you see him, he moves around just out of your line of sight, and just pulls a load of material out. You see he's pulling out a pair of little kids' shorts, some swim trunks, essentially he has some basic training nappy things as well, and you see him cutting holes in them with a knife and then stitching it so it's nice so the tail can sit through nicely. You see him very, very quickly make a series of alterations to different types of clothing for you. He bundles them all together and goes, right. It takes him about 30 minutes to do this as he slides them back over the...
She'll pay attention, but trying to keep the baby occupied.
Baby kobold is chewing on its foot, scratches its tooth all on the underside of one of its nails, and then one of its claws on its foot, and then just stops and goes, yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine that tastes very nice.
Just starts doing it again. Then sort of takes this bundle of clothes and sort of pushes it across to you. She
takes it with thanks.
No problem. You'll find two beachwear sort of outfits. I'm assuming the little one doesn't like shoes, so I have not bothered. There's a towel in there for in the beach, along with a small parasol on top of some winter wear, including little boots, just in case. And
thank you very much.
Winter jacket with a hood.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
And thank you for such speedy service. I couldn't have asked for more.
Nods and says, Don't worry, you're one of Zanzyk's friends. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah, she thanks him again and we'll leave 2 silver as a tip.
Oh, thank you very much. If you see Zanz, tell him I'm more than happy to make winter wear if he should require it. Some of these lovely togas.
I will let him know. I'm sure he would absolutely love one of those togas.
Do you think so?
I think he would.
When in Rome.
I shall have to think on colour palettes. You see the elf scratching the chin. I'll have to consider colour palettes and all.
I'm sure you'll do absolutely fantastic.
We can hope. And he nods at you, and then turns around and sort of walks back over to one of the mannequins. You see him pull out an additional mannequin as you're about to exit that has clearly got the skin tone of a drow.
She smiles at this as she makes her way out and will head to the Fletchers.
Okay. Zanzyk, you see Alice making her way back down from the noble district, carrying under one arm a small kobold, and under the other arm is a load of it's like a bundle of clothes, essentially. She's clearly making her way towards the Fletchers.
Zanzyk probably going to say hi.
Hmm?
He'll just watch as she goes past, but doesn't do anything.
Okay.
He will get up in a bit and just head back to the tavern.
Okay. So we're going to cut back to the tavern for a second as Alice is on her way to the Fletchers. You guys have some time to kill. Like Chris is like, I've got us all places on a boat, but clearly we can't go anywhere until the others are back.
No, that's fine. Well, I'm pretty much done. I think I've got my sword, I've got my shield, I've got my armor.
Do you not have any beach clothes, man? Or are you going to do local shopping? Shopping on the locale is good too.
I don't have any money. I've never got any money.
I gave you like silver pieces, man.
If you've never asked for your okay, they made you a member of the ownership, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Wanderer Incorporated.
I'll be back. He goes up, he picks up, he hands his case to Red Sam. Red Sam, can you please guard my case from any troublemakers?
With my life. I shall grasp that case tight.
Please don't break it either.
No promises.
He heads upstairs, and he comes.
I'm gonna holler up the stairs after him. I haven't either.
You hear a muffled "fuck you."
I literally haven't though.
Yeah. So you guys can roll me some dice. Anyone who would like to collect their dividends can roll me a D100.
Oh boy.
You know I'm going to get like 10.
93. Oh no. Well, you do spend quite a bit on chocolate. So I bet you got. Oh boy. Oh boy.
That's neat.
Oh boy.
Nice.
Woo. That's quite a run there.
I'm sorry. But what did Blitz say he was going to get? What did Witchmouth say he was going to roll?
10.
Oh, he called that shit?
He called it.
Oh my god! Amazing.
So, there's not there, but okay. Neither is Alice, but if you're going to come back and collect it, that's fine. Chris comes back downstairs with a number of essentially coin pouches. He tosses quite a large one to his Antes.
Hey.
He will toss a reasonable sized one to I say reasonable size. It's significantly smaller than Xantis, but it bops Red Sam on the nose.
I tried to catch it with my mouth.
He will then toss another coin pouch to Blitz. So he points at Red Sam. Your dividends are smaller because they get factored into the stuff you donate to the orphanage.
What orphanage?
Don't talk shit with me. I pointed at Blitz, and there was some stuff. Well,
some sandwiches.
Hey.
Yes, there's that.
Yeah.
Had to pay off some bacon.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Surprised he got any at all.
Well,
don't worry, I'm going to make loads much when all those sailors come back for more.
I mean, there is more, but equally, I've not seen you deal with a large amount of cash being given to you, so I'm essentially restricting the amount you get per payment until you.
That's a good idea.
Are you saying you don't think I can be trusted with money?
Well, what I'm saying is you're now getting an allowance rather than a straight-up payment.
I mean, in fairness, every time we've given you money, you've pretty much spent it that day.
And I'd like to see you be able to continue existing as a living, healthy being.
Every time I've got money, that little Amara turns up and I don't have money. That's what happens. As long as she's not coming, I'll have loads of money for this trip.
Check your coin pouch.
She's not here yet. I can't see her.
You don't know that.
And that's where you should check your coin pouch.
Exactly.
I will check my coin pouch that has just been handed to me.
You have the amount of money you had before in your coin pouch, though the one you've been handed contains a grand total of 10 gold pieces.
This is great. This is like loads.
Mm-hmm. As Antis, you have significantly more than your gold pouch. You can guess how much you have in your gold pouch.
I'm doing math.
Yep. Red Sam, you have 14 gold pieces in your gold pouch.
I switch everything around to put it in the bigger coin pouch,
Mm-hmm.
and then stash the
Chris
empty
sort of
one.
shrugs and goes, of course, the guild bounties go straight into a bank account, so I don't have access to those. This is just strictly the stuff you get from the tavern. But also,
I have a bank account.
Yeah, you work for the guild as well. You have a guild bank account.
Ooh.
There's also the fact that I don't actually actually put in the guild bank account. I think the guild just puts your tax money in there, and then we make sure that goes out. There is, of course, more, but right now we only have so much available because of, he shrugs.
Explosions.
Yeah, and it gets invested, and it's unless you ask for like absolutely all of it, which you don't want to do right now because I can't pay you. It gets reinvested back into the growing of the business.
That's fine.
And
no, I'm really happy.
Investments that are benefiting the city, like the fact we now own the building either side of these. So,
Yeah.
Speaking of, I'm going to need to invest at some point.
I'd also like to point out getting this amount of gold out of a tavern is incredibly unlikely. Chris says quietly, like, we've been raking it in off of different people from different walks of life coming here and tourists and stuff. But like, don't expect this on a regular basis. Like, it'll be silver rather than gold.
Expect this on a regular basis.
Don't expect this on a regular basis. You'll just be disappointed.
Do I imagine that he's winking at me?
No, he's looking at you deadly serious.
He could pretend.
Zanzyk, when do you return to the tavern? Would it be about now?
Yeah, probably. He's very quiet. He'll just wander in.
You walk in
and go to
and
wander upstairs.
No, you go to wander upstairs and almost immediately a coin pouch is thrown at you by Chris.
I grab it.
Roll me a dexterity
look at him.
check. You can try and grab it out of the air when he's thrown to you. Roll me a dexterity check.
I'm
Red
just
Sam took his straight to the face like a boss.
staring at Chris just to see if he's winking at me.
He does not wink at you.
I'm waiting to see if there's a wink at the end, at the very, very end, or any indication that there's a wink.
You just about catch it.
Mm-hmm.
Inside it is 25 gold.
I just look at Chris, confused.
Chris shrugs.
Chris blinks, but Red Sam only sees one side of his face, so he
Exactly,
interprets it as
so
a
it's-
wink.
I got you. Expect this always.
Chris sort of shrugs and goes, I mean, we're still waiting on investments to pay off. Like, the buildings, once they're up and running, is consuming a vast majority of the capital. I mean, there's also the fact
that capital didn't come from the tavern. Though.
Well, no, you're quite right. It came from your own money. But the supplementary costs that you can't cover.
Do you need more money for it?
No, the tavern can absorb it, but that's why all your dividends aren't available at the moment. I would have given you an equal amount, but he shrugs.
But the hospital is my responsibility as technically is the school.
Technically, but
I was hoping it would be a bit more of a group project, but I did not mind funding it. Excuse me. And he just continues to walk upstairs. He hasn't noticed, like, the suitcase or anything.
Chris is just like, we're going on vacation. Need to pack a bag.
This is my suitcase now.
I don't have a bag.
You have literally a bag of holding, says Chris.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
then-
actually not a bad idea.
Chris is like, Red Sam, I need my case. Red Sam, he holds his hand out, I need my case.
I'll trade you for a smile.
He looks at you, I'm a fucking dragonborn, you prick.
Yeah.
That was kind of insensitive.
My case.
Be excited! You're going on vacation!
I'll be excited when we can get there and we're not late for the boat. My case.
Okay.
Thank you. He
And
takes
with
the
that,
gates.
Retsen will go upstairs and start packing.
It's about this time. Alice, you make it to the Fletcher.
Assuming it's open.
It is. Your Grumpy Fletcher man is in there. He is, however, he has what looks to be a large bone, and he's just carving into it with a very sharp enchanted knife. He looks at you. Oh, if it isn't the little dragon slayer, how's the bow treating you?
The bow is really awesome.
I told you, it's always the ones with a story.
And then she's like, I need some more arrows though.
Do you now?
I do.
Okay, what kind of arrows are you in the market for?
What you got?
Well, that would entirely depend on what you're trying to buy, because there's some I can't talk about.
Then how do I know you've got them if you
Tell me
can't
what you're in
talk
the market
about them?
for.
I am in the market for some really awesome arrows for my really awesome bow.
That's better. Do me a favor and just turn the sign closed, would you?
She does so.
Then just
With
draw the
child
blind
on hip
over the
and-
back.
Yeah.
Cool. I have some highly enchanted arrows.
I'm listening.
They ain't gonna be cheap though.
Yeah.
Well, how many
still listening.
Because I can give you a bundle of 5 for about 50 gold.
How many do you have?
10.
I will hand him 150 gold for the 10.
He takes the. He's like this. Are you giving me a tip? This is what this is.
I pay you 150 gold for the 10 arrows.
He hands you like 2 bundles of 5 like arrows. As you go to reach out for them, you can see the arrowheads are like glowing and they have like runes up like scribed into them.
She kind of looks them over and will place them on the side and say, I'll have some normal arrows as well, please.
Understandable. He will consult his pricing guide as he considers the price of normal arrows.
I'm pretty sure it's a gold for 20.
I'm just going to have a quick. This is all. Oh, does this not have the ammunition on them? Is it just the. That's really not helpful. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the sound of the DM going through and trying to find it. Here we go. Yeah, it's 1 gold for 20.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
How many are you after?
I'll go for 40, so 2 gold.
He takes them. So you now have 40 arrows standard, and you have 10 plus 2 arrows.
Nice.
You hear salvation in the back of your mind, Alice. Oh, those arrows are quite nice.
She just thinks back. Yeah, shiny.
Of course, you only see shiny.
Well, we'll get to try them out at some point.
Hopefully it's something worthwhile.
Well, if we're going to Chris's home, then he said there was a jungle. There could be something quite interesting. And then, there's other dragons.
Understandable. Now, the Fletcher is looking at us weird because we're talking to ourselves.
Yeah,
The Fletcher is just sort of squinting at you as you've had like a 2-minute conversation, like in your head. Are you okay? He asks carefully.
She just kind of grins and says it was a really awesome bow. So yeah, that's 152 on it.
Well, I'll do my best to keep my ears to the ground on other cool stuff you may be after. So
That would
swing
be
by
much
them in town.
appreciated. I will do.
nods.
And she will bundle her arrows under one arm with the clothes and with kind of a nod head back out towards the tavern.
Fair. So for the rest of you guys in the tavern, like another 15 minutes passes of conversation, and Alice just strolls back in with a shitload of arrows and some clothes under one arm and a small sleeping Greek kobold tucked on the other arm.
Can someone take the
Arrows?
bubby for a second?
Already at your side, reaching up for the baby.
She will give the tiny dwarf the baby and say, "I will be back in a minute," and then runs upstairs and packs.
The kobold is asleep, and just like this chin just hits your shoulder, Xantis, and you just hear sleepy time.
That's so fucking cute. Oh my god.
Little green hand just comes up and just splats on your face.
This is fine.
Just like
This
the
is great.
kobold's just holding your nose.
I'm gonna pat it on the little head.
It's wheezing quietly as it sleeps.
Okay. I'm pretty sure everything is in my bag, but I'll check it again when Alice gets back down here.
Chris has just stood there almost going from one foot to the other, almost like he's excited. Come on,
Chris.
you've got a pack, you've got to go.
I mean, I'm a pretty light packer anyway. I'm pretty sure everything is in there.
He picks you up to carry you like you're carrying the little kobold.
It's fucking cute. Oh my god.
He's like, come on. He puts you back down, starts pacing.
I'm sorry, I just looked down and there's a comb and Silent's beard, and it caught me off guard.
When Alice gets upstairs, she will look to Brewmaster and say, "We're going on holiday. Are you coming or are you staying here?"
Brewmaster's lifts his head up, you can tell he's hungover. He looks at you and goes, "My place is here," he says quite formally, "in the tavern with the beer."
I mean, Red Sun's going. I'm sure there'll be beer.
You see the Ale Drake considering this. "I believe it is best if I remain here to defend the home front."
Then defend it well.
"I will. I shall get all of the gossip and up in the faces of those who need a nap."
And yeah, she will pack her bags and head back downstairs.
That you note the Drake flops off the bed and starts
Holds
doing
the
the
door
worm.
open for the Drake.
He does the worm, crawling and pushing his back legs to get forward, because he's he looks up at you and just goes, "Don't drink and fly," and he starts doing the worm again to get along the floor.
Do you want a hand?
Is that a fact that I'm a Drake joke? I know I have back legs, but that's just rude. He keeps trying to push himself forward.
I'm asking if you would like some assistance.
I would. The fucking stairs are horrible.
She will pick the Drake up and put it on her shoulder, bag over the other shoulder.
The Drake sort of flops down and just goes, "See, I'm not a dragon. I'm closer to a snake."
Snakes don't have legs. And
But
she will head
snakes also
downstairs.
don't have wings. But here I am, bitch.
Yeah, she'll go downstairs. I'll have Drake on one shoulder, bag over the other shoulder.
As you go,
With a pair of sunglasses.
Nice. As you get downstairs, at the alehouse, Drake just goes, "You may rejoice. The true master of this abode has arrived."
And she'll put him down on the bar.
He just squeaks. You put him down.
Why are you squeaking?
He coughs. "I didn't squeak. I don't squeak. I'm a proud alehouse, Drake." You start pushing yourself forward along the bar again.
So, we're just waiting for Zantz.
I'm going to go
And
up
she
and
will
get
take the
him.
baby back.
Blitz, you head upstairs. You come to a stop after clambering up to the top floor of the building, in front of Zantz's door, which is shut.
I'm going to knock on it because no one wants surprises.
I do not say anything, actually. I do not answer. But it is open.
I'll walk in.
Just opens.
Zanzyk sat on his bed, but the other side of his room, and this is how I'm doing this, Ross, is the vision Ross said earlier of what all the dungeon, the Underdark looked like. It looks real.
So you didn't get the scent before, but the scent that Zantz's brain has put on it is horrible. So you walk into this room, Blitz, and you're confronted by essentially a wall of, you get the impression from the way it's all in grayscale that this was seen in dark vision. But the smell that Zantz's brain is associated with it is horrible. It's putrid. And it smells like it's rotting, decaying, flesh and mushrooms. But not the nice kind of mushrooms, the kind of mushrooms that are toxic the instant you smell them.
Um,
And Zanzyk is just clearly studying this vision.
okay. I'm gonna come up, put my hand underneath your elbow, and say, I think you need to step away from this at the moment. I don't know what this is. I don't think it's healthy for you, whatever it
This
is.
my home.
This is your home. Can we go? We can carry on. We can talk about this later, and you can show me some more about your wonderful, putrid smelling house home.
As he says this, like you see, like the stalagmite from the hallucination just sort of drop, or huge piece of rock just falls.
Zanzyk's attention is instantly on it and watching it to see what it does.
It just falls. If you're trying to replay the vision, it just falls into darkness. You don't see it anymore.
Zanzyk just sighs and just waves his hand and stops it, and it dissipates.
And the smell goes?
Yes.
Okay. Chris has been asking us to go with him for a long time. He'd never asked anything of us. I don't know what was you looking at apart from your home?
Another time.
Okay. Right.
He just kind of shakes himself and he's clearly unsettled.
Well, maybe you should get Flicker to come along. He always lifts your spirits.
Flicker goes.
I know, but I can't see him.
I turn into a dog.
Sorry?
I turn into a dog.
Zantz just disappears, and
Back
there's
to
a
dog
Zantz.
form.
There's a Zantz
And I
dog
just
in front of you.
start trying towards the door.
Suddenly, there's a pop, and there's a Flicker walking next to the Zantz dog.
They're
As long
exactly
as
the
that-
same coloration as well.
As long as they don't start sniffing each other, that's fine.
They don't.
Okay. Right.
Zanzyk put his bag on his shoulder before you.
I was going to say, I was just going to grab random bits of clothing. Head downstairs.
So, Flicker, the blink dog, is accompanied by another dog as they walk down the stairs. And Blitz is following them.
I've asked Chris to put me down so that I can
Chris puts
rearrange my bag.
you down. Chris puts you down. Sorry,
Okay.
exuberance.
Right. I know. I'm excited to go too, but I need to make sure that I've got everything.
Oh, that reminds me. Chris literally strides up to the bar and vaults over it in a surprising display of athleticism. And he pulls to, you hear him under the, where did I put them? Where did I put them? And you hear a pair of thuds. He goes, found him.
Whilst he's doing this, Zan's dog is going to go behind the bar,
Mhm.
put his paws up, and look up at the Kimmel vodka.
Okay. So as you go around behind the bar, you see Chris, who's also now behind the bar. He pulls out two bandoliers, essentially, throws them over his shoulders. You guys see Chris now has a boatload of daggers, essentially crossed over this, his torso. And he goes, now I just need, and you hear a thud and the sound of wood slamming on wood. And he pulls out two scabbards and just wraps them to his to his thighs. Yes, and the two short swords. Perfect. And
this is going to be a fun holiday.
picks up the vodka and hands it to the dog.
Nice.
Awkwardly try and hold it.
You may need to change forms for this to work properly, you realise. He says, looking down on the dog.
I mean, you could just put the neck in his mouth.
I've tried that, but I don't want to contaminate the vodka. Do you have any idea how expensive this stuff is?
He's
I
the only
change
one that
form,
drinks it.
Take the vodka and put it in my bag.
There you go.
Then I take another bottle and put it in my bag.
I don't
And then
have
it's
to. We don't have.
redoubled.
You don't have two bottles of Kimmel vodka.
And it'll be the next.
Right.
vodka
Okay.
down. He'll then go back to dog form.
Fair enough.
Alice looks over her shoulder. Is Sal on her shoulder?
Yes.
Awesome.
Along with your quiver. Sounds like I thought you might need the ammunition as well as me for this time.
Yeah, I was just kind of curious of whether you'd show up on your own, to be fair.
I do. I do that sometimes.
I'll bear that in mind.
It's called having power. You should do it sometime.
I don't think I can do that.
Then get good, scrub.
Wow, she actually says wow out loud as she's looking over her shoulder. Just rolls her eyes.
So at that moment, Azantis has jumped up into the booth and has emptied the contents of her bag out on the table. And I feel like that's when Alice says wow, and it's like, look, it's not as bad as it looks, okay?
Oh, no, I was... Yeah, never mind.
So it's just like, it's like a bunch of clothes, there's scraps of paper and stuff like that, but like the very last thing to come out of a bag, there's a heavy thunk, and it looks like just this big chunk of blue glass that falls out of her bag. Oh. She quickly grabs it off the table and just throws it back in the bottom of the bag, and then starts to arrange everything else. Sorry, it won't take long.
Dog is now wrestling with Flicker.
I roll me a strength check as a dog.
Hang on, I actually have to go get a dog sheet.
Seeing
I'm not going to find it in there because it's not in there.
seeing the glass, Alice looks to Xantus like, did you ever figure out what that bit of glass I found was? The lightning glass.
No, I didn't. Actually, Ross, I think I gave that to Chris. I don't think I have that one.
You don't have that anymore. You did give that to Chris.
I gave that to Chris. I didn't really get a chance to look at it. Great.
That's all right.
Though
So
she kind of stops to think about it for a second. Does the glass that's in her possession, is it the same color as the one that she pulled from the battle?
Nope.
Okay. Just curious.
So Zanzyk and Blink and Flicker are wrestling on the ground. As they're wrestling, it's very obvious almost immediately that Flicker wins this wrestle because Zanzyk's dog is pinned to the ground.
Oh,
He's a cheater.
Flicker just pins Zanzyk's dog and like nips his snout.
I nip back at him.
And then he just paws Zanzyk's dog's chin just to take the bit Mickey and jumps back, lets him get back up, yips happily. Chris is like, so we're all here, we're ready to go, right?
Alice nods.
Perfect. Cool. He rubs his hands together. Points at the twins who are literally, they're like, we're going to bed now upstairs in our room. He's like, yes, you two are in charge. Don't burn anything down. Don't let them burn anything down. Keep Bucket Boy and Chef Boy away from each other, whatever you do.
They know. They always know.
Look, I know he says left and right hand, but I have to, for the legality's sake, I have to remind them of their duties. Serve everyone who needs serving, kick anyone out who needs kicking out, and well, the deterrent, he does an air quotes with his fingers, is still under the bar. Have fun, you guys, and I better come back to a bar in one piece, or I will have your hides. They nod. They head upstairs to bed. Chris claps his hands and goes, vacation, here we come. He rearranges his cap, pulls out a pair of sunglasses and perches them on his snout. Let's roll.
Alice pulls her sunglasses down and follows.
Chris literally just walks up to the door and just goes, time to open this, and kicks it open. There's a squeak from the other side. Haha, bitch, he says as he walks out. Pub's closed today, he says to like a very drunk looking like person who's clearly, this is the guy that stays, like the guy on the floor is very much the guy who goes to a Weatherspoons at like 10 in the morning for his beer. Sorry, that is a reference the Brits will get. Sorry, guys.
We all know that guy.
Yeah, we all know that guy. Some of us have been that guy. Anyway,
some of us were uni students.
Yeah, that was the best time to get beer. So Chris leads you down to the docks. And the docks today are actually quite busy. There's a number of different vessels set up, and there is one at the very far end that looks much nicer than the others. It's more, but it's significantly smaller. It's much more like a yacht than a big cargo ship. There's what looks to be like a ferry boat there as well. And then there's like a battleship. There's a whole slew of cargo vessels in different shapes and sizes. Chris rubs his hands together and he goes, so, you've given me loads of pay increases recently.
You bought a boat?
No. Close,
you invested in a boat.
I invested in a timeshare of a property at home, but to get there, I got us all, I got us tickets on a boat. We have a yacht to get us there.
You chartered a yacht?
I did charter a yacht because I'm baller as hell.
It's really cool.
So
well, I might be a bit late for setting off.
No, you won't be, because I'll pick you up and carry you there myself if I have to.
Try me.
He walks over to you. I don't think you understand. He grabs you by like the front of your clothing.
How
and
far away
lifts
are
you
we
up.
from the boat at this point?
Far enough he could probably toss you and make you swim the rest of the way if you're going to be a dick.
I am
We're gonna
going
toss
to
the dwarf.
Misty Step
You misty step out of his hands. He's like, well, he's a
towards
dick.
the boat.
He turns, sees you when you've gone. He's like, well, that guy's a dick.
Catch me if you can.
He turns around and like a dagger impacts the deck next to your feet.
I said catch, not fight, fucker.
If I take your kneecaps out, you can't run.
I dimension door onto the boat right behind Ratsam.
Chris just flips you both the bird and runs forward, case in one hand, like holding his hat on with the other.
Red Sam wins. Red Sam wins.
You know, you really shouldn't make Chris throw daggers at you. That's kind of bad for your health.
As you guys see him power slide past the dagger, like pulling it up and then like reholstering it and then just keeping up his momentum.
You
It's
said
odd.
you'd smile when we get on the boat. We're on the boat.
I mean, with being such a badass like that, I'm surprised he's not right now.
Zanzyk Blitz, Alice, you see just Chris just throwing out a dagger, Red Sam just set off after him and Azantis. Look at full tilt.
Alice will wander on behind them.
I butt,
Chuckling.
but I wonder.
There's-
I'm starting to feel his mood. I'm starting to get amped. So yeah.
There's a couple of seconds you're on the boat, and there's a couple of seconds where Chris goes, really, we should have waited for the captain to come along and say we have permission to board, but he's an old friend.
Do we need him? Let's just go.
No, you do. This is his boat.
You've rented it.
I chartered as a boat when it comes to the captain and crew, so we don't have to do shit, so he can just sit on the deck and laze about for the couple of days it would take us to get there.
Brilliant. I'm loving that.
So Chris literally just sort of puts his bag down and goes, "Oi, Rasty," really loudly, and you see sort of below, like, so it's like a normal yacht, like you have to go descend down. It's the door opens and this other dragonborn, this like very bronze dragonborn, pokes his head out from the door and goes, "Chris," and you see them like they both go, "Hey," and they hug each other, and you very much get the impression that it's like, huh, red brass, huh. They're like, they bro hug and they look at each other and they go, and Rusty's like, so this is the bunch. Yeah. This is the squad. And he nods, and this is a burly, clearly very like water friendly dragonborn walks over to you guys. He walks over to Alice first, and he goes, "Sorry, madam, I just have to." He pats the kobold very gently on the head. "Hello, little guy. You're so adorable." He then offers you his hand. "Sorry, I'm Rasty."
Alice. She nods and holds out a hand.
He shakes it. The grip is startlingly strong. "Pleasure to meet you, madam." He then walks over to Azantis. He quite carefully crouches down to meet at your eye level, so he's not disrespecting you by looking down. "Pleasure to meet you, madam." He holds his hand out. "I'm Rasty."
Offers a hand. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that.
Oh, I find people get like it's easier to talk to you if we're the same height. I feel like it's more respectful.
Fair enough.
Just if you annoy me, I will talk down at you because fuck you.
I'll be sure to remember that.
He sort of stands back up, sort of wanders over to Blitz, sort of half like leans down a little bit to match your height, Blitz. Offers you his hand.
Go on my tiptoes and offer my hand as well.
That's the man. You see him stretch a little bit back up to a little bit higher. You hear his back crack. "Thank you." He
No
offers you
worries.
his hand.
I'll
Rasty,
shake his.
nice to meet you.
Blitz.
I've heard about you.
I haven't heard about you.
That's fine, you're not meant to, but I heard you got quite a mouth on you, mate.
Yes.
Good. That would stand you in good stead with the others. He pats you quite heavily on the shoulder. And I'm assuming, from what I've heard, he points at you, Red Sam. You must be the Master Dwarf that's caused one hell of a ruckus recently.
That would be a logical conclusion, since I'm one of the only two dwarfs here.
Yep, there's you and the tiny dwarf. I've heard about this. He walks over and he offers you his hand, like crouching down to your higher, Red Sam.
I'll before he like gets down, I'll be like, go for a salute, but then I'll be like,
He offers you his hand. He's like, no, none of that saluting on this boat. He shakes your hand.
Well,
He looks at the two dogs. He looks at
I
Chris.
stand on my 2 back feet. No.
Right.
Paw.
Chris is like, yeah, the dog there, that's Zanzyk. He's in dog form at the moment. Barking mad, that one. Ras is like, barking mad, I see what you did there. He walks over to you as you're standing on your hind legs. He goes, he sort of tries to crouch down to the right, he holds his hand out and you're like, high five. He's like, that'll do, right? Rasty, nice to meet you. He considers.
Alright, then go find a
Zansk
sun
dog.
spot.
Zansk dog Zansk.
And then go find a spot in the sun and just lay down.
Right, well, that sorts that out. So it's me and 2 of my boys. The other 2, they'll be around. Only takes 3 of us to crew the ship. Your cabins are downstairs. You will note this ship is magically enchanted, so there is more space downstairs than there appears to be. Whatever you do, don't do dispel magic. Whatever the fuck you do that, you'll probably kill yourselves, and I'll accept no liabilities for that stupid shit you might pull. Right? Cool. So he heads over to sort of down to the middle of the deck where he opens up the door, pulls it open to reveal a set of stairs that lead down to a hallway. After you guys, straight down the other end is sort of the mess and sort of open cabin where you guys can sit chill out. There's sofas and stuff. The doors on either the left or right are your cabins. They have, ensuite bathrooms, with like internal plumbing and stuff, with showers, all that fun stuff. I'd ask that if you do have a habit of, smoking or whatever, you do it on the deck and not under, not below deck. If you have magical habits, please do not cast spells inside the vessel. Cool, he says. Cool then, by all means pick your cabins. Mine is actually on the, if you see at the bottom of the stairs, turn left and turn left so you're facing away from the understairs. Those are crew cabins. Mine's the one at the far end of the hall. My boys on either side. Either one of us, just knock away. Mine's on the end. Obviously, either one of the boys, they look pretty much the same as me. Guys have been a Dragonborn. You guys can't tell us apart.
What?
So
that's assuming that we're racist.
Oh, I can't.
It's assuming that you just don't understand quite how we work, which is absolutely fine. It's not racist. It's just an exact commentary on how people are. Primal's better for it than most places, but you're Rockhorlian. You're a gnome from the north. You're a drow. The oak might get it. The oaks. The tiefling.
I didn't even. I just said Alice.
He shrugs and goes, "Look, we know. We talked to Chris. He had to give your full name so we get travel permits and stuff."
They know. They always know.
No, we don't always know. That's that weird pair of elves that Chris employs.
What elves?
I don't know. I knew. Now you're all aboard. We can anchor away. This boat does move dramatically faster, but it'll still take us. Well, Chris seems to think 5 days because he thinks it takes you 5 days to get bloody anywhere. But 2 days with good weather, 2.5. So not a long trip.
Good.
Your destination is Hope's Wharf, which is the westernmost port in the world. It is the very edge of the map. He gestures to a map that's on the wall, and he points to where just half a circle has been drawn on the very edge of the map that just has Hope's Wharf in script under it. And that's where we're going.
Excellent. I got some questions for Chris and for you if you want. Mainly for Chris.
Shrugs. Chris looks. Yeah. What?
Well, I couldn't help but notice. Maybe I should do this in private. I'm sure that Rasta's really nice or whatever, but maybe this is just for the group to start off with. Then I'll open it up.
Rasta shrugs. All right. I've got to go as anchored away anyway. So.
Okay.
There's we anchoring off, Dad. Yeah, boy. Come on upstairs with you. And this slightly shorter Dragonborn, and Rasta sort of plod upstairs. Chris sort of looks at you, Blitz. Yo.
Okay. Oh, really good. I was just wondering, the Assassin's Guild.
Right. I'm going to say a sentence.
Is it going to be never talk to me about this again?
Well, I'm going to give you another question. I'm going to say a very simple phrase. You don't ask questions you don't want the answers to. I'm going to follow that up with definitely not here.
Okay, here's a follow-up question. Where? Because I really want to answer. I want to answer now.
He something's wrong with going to the edge of the world. Ask me in 5 days.
Or 2.5 with good weather. By the way,
Ask me in 5 days.
bandoliers, swords, loving it all.
He
Haven't
looks
seen
at
you
you
this.
like he's wearing shorts that he's strapped short swords to, like cargo shorts, and he's got like a Hawaiian shirt that's open. He's put 2 bandoliers over it. He shrugs, goes, "I travel."
He's in full Rambo mode.
He essentially could be described as in full Rambo mode. Yeah,
It's a good look.
he has like a really dinky straw hat on the top of his head, like perched awkwardly, and he's got like shades perched on his snout. He's like, he shrugs. As I said, I've travelled. You know, I ain't afraid to have to stab a bitch.
Or quite a few by the looks of the amount of knives.
He looks down and goes, "You don't always hit when you throw 'em."
Okay. Well, I'm just waiting now. I think some music to get us off.
I mean, he looks around. There's supposed to be some sort of enchanted stuff on here that'll let you play some music that's recorded if you want. It's one of those fancy enchantments that they've recently had on. That's why it costs so much to get on this boat.
What, like sea shanties and stuff like that?
Yeah, they have those recorded. I mean, equally, they'll be singing upstairs on the deck if you want to go listen.
So is that only pre-recorded stuff, or does it kind of loop through like a pedal that you press and then it like records like a bit of audio, and then you press it again and then you can add more audio, and it just kind of creates this loop of music?
Chris shrugs. I don't understand how it works.
Oh, good God, he's on his cogs again, isn't he? Right, cogs and loops.
Does that mean
and
when he's gone mad, he's really off his cogs?
Yeah, when he's gone mad, he's totally gone.
Oh.
Right. Well, let's go and enjoy ourselves upstairs, shall we?
I mean,
Don't get mad. Don't make him mad. It really grinds his gears.
Chris says as he walks away.
Alice is going to go
kids.
claim a bedroom.
Yeah, I'm going to walk away from her as well.
Chris literally like.
It's okay. I would too.
He walks down to this central like, open area that has like sofas around the side. There's little like portholes you guys can see through. Chris like opens a cupboard and pulls out a deck chair. Like he opens one of the doors closest to the kitchen, like throws his case in and goes, "I claim this one because I'll probably end up cooking." He looks at Zanzyk, who's still in dog form.
Zanzyk is still up on deck.
It's not a working holiday.
And he's staying there.
Ah, fair enough. Chris carries the deck chair upstairs, and as he opens the door, you hear the sea shanties already being sung. You're being treated to a load of draconic sea shanties.
Mm-hmm. Zanzy's going to look for a piece of rope.
You find a number of. Wow, that's not a joke.
No, like
that's we're gonna have to cut things.
Something.
There aren't any. They're kept secure because free rope is like gold dust on a boat like this.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, Zanzyk still has his bag holding on him.
Except you're a dog, and when
Sorry,
you wild
I can
shape,
still open a bag as a dog.
no, when you wild shape, it all becomes part of your body. That is how wild shape works.
I have to wait a whole half hour if I want to shape again.
Mm-hmm.
You just try coughing it up like furballs.
That's not how that works.
That should be how that works.
A dog of holding.
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
Fireblade.
Holy shit!
You guys want to position yourselves on the boat. Like Chris is going to go up on deck. Like he's going to kick open this deck chair, and he is literally going to put his feet up in the deck chair, put his hat over his like eyes. He's going to have a nap as you guys are pulling away from Frey Hollow.
What's that doing?
Yeah.
Just lay on deck, napping.
I'm gonna watch the cast off and be like, all right, this is cool, and I'm gonna go downstairs and find a bedroom with a hammock in it.
I'm going to get really pissed because like he got me all amped up and now he's gone to sleep. Like I'm like, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were just going to get really drunk.
I was
no.
waiting. I was waiting
Chris
because I didn't know which one he meant.
So
I'm
this is
catching
when
on to
Chris
the
is-
lingo here.
It's this thing. Chris is hyped, right? But he knows there's a bit of travel time. Seeing his friend and like the friend's kids is great for him. But he very much needs to be away from Frey. Like you get the impression he's hyped to be going away, but he needs to be away from Frey Hollow before he can like actually let go and be super exuberant. I need to nip to the bathroom, so I'll let you guys place yourself on the boat and decide what you want to do and just chat amongst yourselves. I will need to be called back up when I return, but I'll be 2 minutes.
I need to do when you come back.
You do when I get back. Okay, cool. That's fair enough. Perfect.
I'm going to pull out my lyre.
Zanzyk is so tempted to come out of dog form just to find a rope for
I'm
Rexam.
gonna pull out my truther. If he's pulling out his lyre, I'm pulling out my truther.
Lies, truth.
Why does Red Sam need a rope?
Because you have a habit of going overboard.
Only when attacked by fish.
No. I remember that
I can't
episode.
watch it
Holy
for at
hell.
least half hour.
We were attacked by fish. It's not my fault.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean Zanzyk is not going to say he has a habit of going overboard, and I'm not fishing him out this time.
Oh, this is good.
I was the victim there.
Uh-huh. A fully
Oh.
plated dwarf jumped into the sea.
To fight fish, because
No way,
I
catch
literally
back on the
have
boat.
one spell which I can use to attack at range. I don't think Ross will let me bend the rules of Thunderous Smite to hit the water and do lightning damage to the fish.
Not
But
without
that would be
throwing
amazing.
everything.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I can put lightning bolt back into my repertoire.
Oh,
I took it out like weeks ago.
yeah.
We were fighting a dragon. Come on.
We were fighting a blue dragon. I was like, that's pointless.
Yeah. Well, now, because I've got improved Divine Smite, which Blitz should have as well, if I hit anything with a melee attack, with my hammer, I'm going to do the hammer damage, lightning damage, and improved Divine Smite.
Oh, shit.
I can summon like 20 swarms of wasps.
Okay, you summon them, and I will just start casting magic, and then the smoke from my hands will put them to sleep.
I wasn't going to cast them at you.
I don't know that.
Just
I
think
thought
how
we
much
were
gonna
escalating
annoy
here.
Ross.
There's an escalation, a
No,
threat.
no. Think how much we can annoy Ross if we work together.
Yeah, in
Cool.
fairness, as a party, we could.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Work together.
Well, brave of you to say that like we don't already.
So I had 2 plans for Pargos that I couldn't execute. One of them was to piss him off with wasps. Because
Oh,
they're
boy.
swarms, and there are shit tons of them. He has to target them individually.
Oh no.
Yep. And it's poison saves all the way. And it's not massive amounts of damage, but it's small bits, which is fine. Because there are like 20,
Which is annoying as hell, yeah.
because there are like 20
Alright.
attacks.
Yeah.
My other option was to summon fairies. Ask
Fairies?
them to get
Why?
cast the fly spell on Steve, Retsam, Blitz, and then hide. So they couldn't be targeted because they weren't around and couldn't lose concentration whilst those were flying. Your only problem with that was if I lost concentration, you were screwed.
Yeah.
I was also going to hide.
Okay. Before Ross gets back,
That was my plan.
Retsam is
Yeah.
going to go up to Doggy Zanzyk and be like, "Oh, puppy, do you want a drink?" And then he'll pull out the
I will
Steve
lick you.
bowl.
I will bite at your hand.
I will bite you.
Oh no!
Zanzyk is not
You-
in a good mood.
You bite me and I'll
Aw.
accidentally drop this bowl. And then you'll lose your best Steve.
You wouldn't do this to Steve.
Oh my
You
god.
threatened me with a bite.
Let's be honest, Steve did the second most amount of damage to Pargo.
I like to think I did emotional damage to Pargo.
I did nothing at all.
Yeah,
Oh.
against Pogo I got like one hit in.
Zanzyk's got nothing.
I didn't get to actually hit him, but I did get to shout in his face.
Blitz
That
only
was it.
pissed him off.
Yeah.
I literally did nothing in that fight at all.
I mean, in fairness,
I was dead for half of it.
You was his tune boy.
yeah.
But that's kind of Zanzyk's job. Zanzyk's the tank. He's supposed to take
Okay.
the hits for everyone else, except for he's not very tanky.
He's a glass
Taking
cannon.
Shit ton of damage. No, it was just poorly timed because I couldn't wild shape and I couldn't thing in between enough attacks. To
And you
absorb it.
couldn't feather fall because somebody wasted their reaction.
Zance doesn't know that.
Nope.
I don't think he'd care either way. He wouldn't hold it against anyone.
As long as I can help it, Zanzyk won't know that.
Well, it's okay, because in 2 more levels, Retzam's going to be dipping his toe into Druid, and then he's got good berry for all yos.
So, party members, you have situated yourself in places around the boat. You guys, if you're on the deck, you can hit your treated to sea shanties in Draconic. Who speaks Draconic? Okay, 2 of you are treated to a sea shanty about a helmsman who saved his captain from a kraken. No names are mentioned.
Oh.
They don't need to be.
I've killed Beth. You got to have known that one might have come up.
Yeah, just not so quickly.
Yeah, I know, but sea shanties travel. And those of you who are on deck and are able to be aware of how quickly this boat is moving, you realize you're moving really damn fast for a boat of this size. Like, it's unnerving how fast this boat is going. And Rasty's just behind the wheel going, yeah, this is about good speed for this time of day.
Zank's dog is asleep running.
Just on his side, sleep running, like, yeah.
Xanthus will hang out on the deck for a little bit just to kind of see like how shit works. But pretty soon after we cast off, she's heading downstairs to her bunk.
So one of the so there's Rasty's at the wheel, and it looks to be what his son is working the ropes. But the ropes, he seems to be like essentially like he stood in a certain like a circle like of rooms and things. And he's got his hand on like a plate that's in front of him. He's like twisting and shifting things, like he's using a touch screen almost. And the various ropes are moving in line with things he's doing on the screen. You get the impression this might be an incredibly enchanted boat.
Damn, Chris did good.
Chris, as you are walking head downstairs, like, yeah, I know I did. He says, like, from under his hat.
She'll chuckle and go downstairs.
Much.
You smiling, Chris?
Fuck you, Smoothskin.
We had a gentleman's agreement.
There's a huff and just like fire comes out of his mouth for a second. Does that count?
Was that done in jest?
Possibly.
Then it counts.
There you go.
I'm going to be playing alongside the sound of the shanty, and if I can, I'm going to try and learn some of the words, like because they keep on coming up. Absolutely not, but I will ask. Okay. What's that word mean?
Like Chris is like feeding you the words in common. They don't quite work as well in common, but
no. But I'm going to try learning another language here in the sense that the normal things. Where's the toilet? I want to go to bed.
Essentially, what you'll pick up is you'll pick up this song at best. You won't pick up the actual words, but you pick up how to sing the song.
Mm-hmm. And
so roll me a performance check and then an intelligence check.
Okay. Not okay.
That's a save, not a check. So if you pick a check, I will let you re-roll that. Okay, that's not even any better, I'm afraid.
Oh,
you went from a single nat 1 to a double nat 1, so there's not much I can do there, I'm afraid. Blitz.
Oh no!
You learn the song, like you play wonderfully accompanying to the song, but the words were just like,
Alice looks over and she's like, "It's not easy for people who don't have split tongues."
We don't have split tongues. They say, like all the dragon ones say, like unison.
You know what I mean.
We have snouts and can articulate from the different sides of our mouths.
That one, then.
That's not split tongues, that's snakes.
Sounds a little bit racist to this dwarf.
I don't know, have you spoken to a gnome recently? So that the younger of the Dragonborn says quite loudly.
What gnome?
Exactly.
Okay. Well, Just give me some basic words so that I can get by, like hello, goodbye, I don't like you, that type of stuff.
Whereas the
You're given
library,
them in that order by Chris.
That's good. I will note them down.
So you guys are now on a boat. Now, this is going to be a travel mechanic. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da.
So Zanzyk will eventually wake up and
Okay.
retransform out of form because
You're now lying on a deck as a drow in the glorious sunshine.
it'll look up for one of the Dragonborn. Do you have a rope? A spare one? The dwarf has a habit of falling overboard.
Oh yeah,
Fuck you.
downstairs in the cabin there's a supply cabinet where Chris got the deck chair from.
I wander down and pick up a rope.
You have a
And then
length
I
of
come
rope.
back and start tying it around Retsim.
fuck you.
And then I tie it to the boat.
Are you tie it to a safety rail? Or you tie it to like the mast.
I want to contest this.
Okay, you
I
can,
feel like there's some history here. Alice kind of puts sunglasses up and looks between the two of them.
Someone thought it would be a great idea to jump overboard in full armor.
To fight fish. Fish attacking the boat. Me with a hammer. Do you expect me to yell at them?
I mean, how did you expect to get back on the boat?
I tied a rope around my waist.
How did you expect to get back on the boat?
After I misty stepped, I'm sure I could have found a way
Uh-huh.
yeah.
eventually. But
Zanzy's laughing.
I tied a rope around my waist because I knew that my armor was heavy, and then I didn't know if the misty step would interrupt the rope or not. Turns out it does.
In before it does.
So,
So you just decided to drown not at the bottom of the ocean, just slightly below the boat instead.
He misty stepped, and because he misty stepped, he moved out of the rope, so the rope just stayed on the deck, and he went overboard.
no, I jumped in with the rope, but then I misty stepped in front of the fish so that they would swim into my attack.
Yeah, and he lost the rope because he misty stepped.
And then
Zanzyk had to fish him out.
Yeah, I was lifted up on a column of water.
Dolphin form?
Do you want to do
Dolphin
an
form.
actual word?
For the rescue.
wow.
So you, O nerdlings, can all roll initiative.
I'm
Should
sorry?
really be
As we're
quite
going
good
to a
at
travel
this.
mechanic. This is not combat unless you guys decide
Oh.
to make it combat.
Oh God.
One.
Red
Add
Star
up,
rolled
boy.
that one on
Oh my
point.
God.
This
Shit.
bodes really well for Red Family rolls. Are you like a one instantly?
I do love my
Awesome.
chalk pens.
Oh,
Holy
there's
crap,
another
that
one.
nat
Can you-
one ratio.
Does that say fuck Pogo? Oh my God. I love it. I need to get metallic Sharpies when I go to Walmart
Oh.
to get cat food today. And I'm
So,
gonna write fuck Pogo on the side of my fucking sippy cup.
to give some context, Silent has essentially a glass that he's used metallic marker to write "fuck Pogo" in big letters on the side. That is what Courtney was being.
Fucking magical. I love it. Oh, Blitz. Witchmouth didn't see it. Didn't see the glass. You gotta show it again.
I didn't either.
It says fuck Pogo.
That's
I
okay.
love it so much. That's awesome.
I
think I
feel
can
like
get cups
Merch.
designed.
yeah. So
I
this
just
is
have that.
shamelessly, we're just like, hey guys, if you want to see merch, give us some feedback on the podcast.
We have a single smash jumper.
But that means very little to.
Why
I
did
think
I
I
not
just-
know this?
I think I discontinued.
Why
it
don't
after
I
did it.
own a Sindel Smash jumper?
It's. I don't know if it's still up actually. Let's have a look.
Okay, so Beth, since
Yeah.
you're first, you remember how these function, don't you?
Which way we doing it?
I was going to do this as essentially one as it gets to your turn in the order, you would describe like a situation that occurs on your
And
travel,
I pick the roll.
and you pick the role for the sort of how you're coming up with the outcome. But no person can use the same skill.
Yep.
So if someone, say like Beth goes through this and uses like athletics, no one else can then use athletics. They'd have to use a different one. So this is where like I'm giving you guys some narrative room to play with what you guys do on your journey, while also giving you all the time to be heard and displaying some of your character's skills. It will also mean that if you guys choose to make this combat, that's on your own head. I would advise not doing that in this instance, because naval combat straight out the gate is incredibly difficult for all of us, and you might drown. So, hey, try and keep it peaceful, kids. Says the second youngest person in this call.
So,
I just got to flip the beats.
as the youngest person in this call, I hate being the bubby.
when you now have a kobold as well, so technically you're not.
So, Alice is gonna get her scarf and basically tie the kobold and it so she's kind of on her back and secure. And she's going to climb up the mast and show the baby kobold all the pretty birds and stuff that are flying around with a better view up and over the ocean so you can see as we're kind of leaving Frey Hollow. And I'm going to roll an acrobatics.
Yep, you pull off exactly what you described with ease. You clamber up the mast and past the sails without being smacked with incredible grace, almost making a show of it to your colleagues below.
And yeah, point out all the pretty birds and yeah, just enjoy the view. It's not very often she gets to do see growing up in a forest.
The little cupboard points and goes, "Blue one," and points at a bluebird.
Oh.
Yeah. And if possible, she will try and name said bird.
You're from the forest, not the
Yeah, it depends. Some crossover.
There's a moment of pause where the kobold then just goes, "Yellow one," and punches you in the shoulder. Yellow bird never returns.
Oh, you're a bastard, Ross.
Sorry. At least it wasn't yellow mini bird. And that would take us on to Azantis, as I may have just sent Beth into severe bouts of pain. Whoops. Torturing her with good humour. Who thought that would be so fun?
I'm slightly upset at how badly you misspelled the name in the turn order.
Look, it's intentional.
I mean,
not.
I would.
It's not.
At this point, I would kind of hope so, because that's brutal.
Yeah, I just slapped the keys because I was a bit busy, narrating.
Baby Kobold, type the name. Okay.
Look, some of them have names that I've been doing with for 3 years. Others, it's literally Alice. I can't spell that wrong if I was blindfolded. Because it's just a lice. Sorry, I need to stop making this laugh.
Okay.
Made Claire frown. That's how bad it is.
She did, didn't she? Okay. I've ventured downstairs and I have found my room. I'm kind of posting up in there. I'm focusing on the stone in my bag. So I've
blue one.
The big chunk of glass. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I've kind of settled myself into a hammock and I've taken the glass chunk out of my bag.
Mm-hmm.
I've also got a small notebook, small journal, and I'm gonna try to take down as much from this as much from the glass as I can, because I've etched a whole bunch of stuff in it, and it's getting kind of hard to read.
Okay, what check are you gonna roll for that?
That's a good question. Would you call that intelligence or?
I would say this is what you should be deciding when you're making up the little plot point. However,
Right. I think that's what it would be.
Then, if that's what you think it would be, then I mean, it generally should be a skill rather than a
right. Okay, so that being the case,
let me have a quick look at the skills, and I will give you some advice. As I'm happen to be scrolling through your sheet to do this, so don't judge me if it flips around a little bit.
Okay. Hand off the mouse.
I was using Alice's sheet, so it's fine.
Oh.
I'd imagine either investigation, perception, or sleight of hand would probably work best for this, because you are actively trying to figure out which text is like relating to what sentence. You're also trying to copy it down. You're also trying to actually like see and make sense of what's in front of you.
So you said investigation, sleight of hand, or
perception, one of the above.
Let's go investigation.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, hello.
Yep, so you decipher some of your own sentences scrawled and scratched into the glass so long ago. You can, if you want to write down some text and ping it over to me, then that'll be one of the lines on your stone. You wrote the stone. I have no control over what you wrote on that stone or that glass. So that's entirely up to you, and we will talk about the narrative implications at another time.
Sounds good.
Okie dokie. Which will then take us on to Blitz. Blitz, have you seen enough of roughly how this progresses to get what needs to be done?
Yeah, I think so. Basically, for me, because I feel no animosity to anyone on this boat, as everyone seems to be really amicable, I'm not going to goad or take the piss out of them unless it's, just how things are said. Then I'll play along. And I won't be too acerbic, but I will be trying to learn their language, and I'll try insulting them in their language so as to make friendly play. And just I am determined to learn a bit of Draconic so that I can get by, because as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to a place where there's loads of dragons or Dragonborn, even though I've just come from Frey Hollows. So
okay, so you need to pick a skill check that relates to that, because you're sort of trying to perform along and pick up words. So you get sea shanties, and mostly some of them are quite insulting to different things. There are some profanity in there as well. I mean, if you're performing with them, they will swap between shanties. If you make that request, they may well go, what's profanity-ridden sea shanty? They'll just give you the most. For the rest of you, it would probably turn your ears blue with the amount of swearing.
Yeah. But however, I'm actually learning. So
you would. This thing is, you sort of have to pick the skill you're using. So this
performance, I think.
So if you go for performance, you can pick up some performative swear words, like the nice flowery ones. You know what those... It's like when you're learning language, you pick up those swear words first.
Mm-hmm.
I'd give you that via performance, but you're not going to be going, oh, excuse me, where's the library? Or something like immediately with, like, through this. It's not going to work that way. But you can, like, go, hey, fuck you. So...
Yeah. Okay, cool.
So if you roll me that performance check, you perform along the sea shanty with them. You actually do get, basically. But you do get an amount of the enunciation correct, and it's surprising. Like Alice, you pick it up, you like cover the kobold's ears, as you recognise the swearing coming up from the sea shanty below.
I was going to say she would, assuming that the kobold understands Draconic, cover her ears. Like, you're way too young to be listening to this.
The kobold pipes up with a small profanity.
Fuck.
And you, like, Blitz, you pick up on Xanthus can hear this from below deck as well. But, like, it's a lot of profanity. And Chris just, like, looks, that doesn't translate into common because, yeesh. That one's about someone's mother. He just like roughly translates.
Kids on board.
It's performing. It's okay. Make believe.
Draconic.
Yeah, she will shout there are kids on board in Draconic.
The scene gets louder as a response. There's a laugh from the sailors. They do then, after that blitz, they will swap away from the profanity-laden ones to more historic ones, like describing events of sailors past. Chris will essentially relay the story to you in common afterward. So they'll pause between songs for you.
If that's the case, I want to try and learn the song and the music to it as well as
you can pick up some sea shanties, and I will at some point when I have some time off, I will write you up some sea shanties.
Or just Okay, great.
Yeah. I'll write them. No, genuinely, I'll go and find them. I'll find some music and I'll listen to that and write
Do
some
you
sea
want
shanties for
me
you.
to send
Yes,
you my old...
please.
Yeah, okay.
Send me the pirate playlist. I need that in my life. So that
I literally have a pirate playlist.
I know you do. This will take us from Blitz to Zanzyk.
Mm-hmm.
Zanzyk, you've tied your dwarf friend up to the railing so he can't go overboard.
I grin, Wanderer.
What would you like to do in this travel mechanic?
Is the hummingbird still there?
The hummingbird is perched on Red Sam's tree and watches you tie him up with some interest.
I would like... So Zanzyk will stare at the hummingbird.
The hummingbird tweets and goes behind the tree.
Zanzyk understands this is probably a druid. Because it's not native and nowhere near. Could he discern whether it is the druid he talks to?
I mean, I'm not asking. The travel mechanic is not very much about you going, can I? It's, I'm going to try this as part of the narrative.
Also, my question would you prefer it as an insight or nature?
It has to be a check. So
Yeah.
I'd probably nature's probably your best bet.
Oh, that would be 13.
You cannot discern the nature of this hummingbird other than it appears to be very much out of place, but it has arrived and is now a companion to your friend.
What?
So
Who
far, it has only
are you?
assisted your friend.
He doesn't think it's necessarily evil, he just doesn't necessarily like the fact he's hiding.
Mm-hmm.
He's pissed that Brett Sam's got an animal companion that's chosen him, and the druid hasn't yet.
I mean, have you met my dog? Say the word boot, I dare you.
A boot
Yeah,
lands on Zan's head.
but chosen. You chose the dog.
No, it's so Zanzyk is curious. He doesn't begrudge anyone anything. He just is curious about it.
He just wants one of his own.
No. He has a dog. Doesn't need anything else.
Anything? Your dog is a sentient living member of this party. Thank you very much.
Yeah, he
Thing.
wanders.
Okay. So unfortunately, Zanzyk, you are unable to discern. Inafortunadamente. Which will take us finally onto the dwarf himself.
Well, there's not much I can do tied to this mast.
You've got a full length of rope, like you've got 40 feet of movement, which will let you get to the stairs to go down to the deck, under deck. So you can untie yourself and head down under, like below the deck. You could just untie yourself.
Okay, then I'm going to untie myself and then do some exercise because I've been trapped in a little room for days.
You're now on a little boat. Okay, what kind of exercise are you going to do?
Right, first off, there's like two main things that he's going to do for exercise. First off, he's going to just run laps round the mast when there's no one kind of walking back and forth, because he doesn't want to get in the way, obviously. But he'd also take his length of rope, which he's untied from the mast, and he'll kind of use that to essentially climb up the mast for a few feet before dropping back down and running around again.
Okay, roll me so I'm going to say that's
Athletics. I'm aiming for athletics.
Okay.
Am I the only one that's seeing a Mulan montage right now?
Let's
No.
get down to...
So you run. You go to pull yourself up the mast, and you're going. You get one rung, two rungs, and then you just slide back down after your two rungs. You're like, what? You try again. You just slide down. You're like, I need to work on this some more.
Yep, and he will.
Unfortunately, it appears your confinement has had a negative impact on your athleticism.
I know. That's why I really need to work out.
It's like you're going to an island that has no worries. Literally a failed Mulan montage, pretty much, yeah. Let's get down to what failure.
Let's get down to vacation.
To defeat the SADs.
I was going to say stress, but that's okay.
SADs also works, right? So as you guys are off doing these bits and pieces, the other members of the crew are like tending the boat. Dusk comes in, and as you hear some shuffling in the galley area ahead of you, sort of outside your room. You hear a different sea shanty being sung from below deck than what's being sung above deck. And the rest of you in the party see Chris stand up after a number of hours of you guys doing your various activities. He takes his hat off his head and then pops it on the top of his head. He goes, right, I guess that means it's my time to go and cook. Might as well keep my end of the bargain. And he heads downstairs. As you hear Chris's voice singing along to the sea shanty that's being sung in the galley as you hear him thud past your door.
I think the door is cracked slightly, and I'd be like, "Did you have a good nap?"
I did. It was great. I haven't had a chance to nap like that in ages. Been a loud bar. He poked his head in your doorway. Hey, do you want to come cook?
Yeah, I do.
Come on,
And
man. Get out of this
I'll shove the glass back into my bag, leave it in the hammock, and jump down and follow him.
Leads you over to the galley where there's a brass dragonborn already, or bronze dragonborn, one of the two, already cooking.
Okay.
There's like a frying pan is on like what we peg as like a modern like hob cooker. Like it's clearly like it looked like it's like an electric one, but it's clearly run by magic on this boat. Chris looked from you, Xantis. This is Kellex. He goes by Kel, but you've already met someone who's called Kel, so Kellex will do.
Hi. And I'll just kind of
Nods.
stand
Hello.
there until Chris tells me to do something.
Chris basically grabs a stool, slides it across to essentially to a series of vegetables and bits and pieces that are out.
That's
if you
more
wouldn't
like it.
If you wouldn't mind skinning and chopping these carrots and the veggies, that'd be super. I'm gonna go and tenderize some of this meat we have for supper. How does do we want a pasta dish? Do we want like a soup or a stew or something?
Oh, pasta sounds lovely.
Bolognese?
Yeah.
Cool. He chucks some tomatoes and they land in front of you. If you mash them up once you've done it, we'll into a separate bowl. We'll put together tomato sauce while we're at it as well. And you see he's getting the meat ready and cooking it. The central guy is like he takes what he's doing and pushes like a bowl of like he just walks out with a huge bowl. Like a saucepan, and he comes back. It's filled with water. He just pops it on the stove. He's like, "We've got plenty of salted water." He shrugs. It's one thing we've got lots of.
Water everywhere.
Exactly. Might as well use it for cooking. Chris, as you guys are cooking, Chris looks at you and then I should show you guys the other added cool feature of this boat.
Oh?
Yeah, I'll have to take you down to the deck below this, to the hull. It's beautiful. You'll have to see.
Neat.
It's really good at night though. So everybody on deck, you can smell like meat being cooked, and you can smell like veggies being prepared and cooked up. You can smell food, and you guys haven't eaten in a while, and it's like, they could do with this.
If there's food, I'm gravitating.
Yep, you hear the ding 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 of the dinner bell.
I'm already heading over there.
As you guys head downstairs, in the booth that's sort of set up in the middle for where like a crew would normally congregate, there's a load of dishes and pasta and a bolognese sauce all over it have been served up. There's like in the middle of the table, there's like a fancy grater with a load of different cheeses around it, so you can pick your cheese to have grated on top of your pasta. And as Antis, you note that you've been given like a slightly larger portion for helping cook.
I look at Chris.
Thank you.
Chris is like, don't worry, your portion was prepared separately. It's
Thank you,
a vegan
Chris.
alternative.
Thank you, Chris.
Pasta is cooked and prepared without any form of milk. It's all taken from natural components. It's vegetarian. It's vegan. Anything you need.
Did you remember to not use eggs?
I did. I had to make this pasta specifically.
He's a good man.
Look,
It is just a brick.
he walks over. He opens the galley door, and there's like a load of things that are labeled as like Zanzyk friendly on one side of one of the shelves. He just gestures and look, I came prepared.
Zanzyk doesn't bother looking. He trusts Chris.
Closes the door again, turns to eating. So Chris says, I have to show you guys the hull of this boat. It's incredible. Rasty, who sat there with his feet up in the like on a seat on the other side, like holding his bowl with one hand, like scooping in his as he's just shoving like this pasta in his face. And so you have a full meal. And you are taken downstairs as the sun sets, and you are confronted by what is essentially a giant hole in the bottom of the boat. But there are fish you can see swimming in it, and it's illuminated below the boat through this crystal clear water, as it's not glass. It's just like an open bottom part of the boat. You can see where it's like built around it, and there's a set of stairs that go down into the water. And Chris goes, it's basically a magical pool maintained underneath the boat. So if you guys want to swim, go down, you can go down a couple of feet, come back up, and it should all stay stuck under the boat. It's not affected by currents. It's also a great observation because you can see the different fish underneath.
Time to practice my swimming.
Wait. So we go down into the pool and we're not going to get like sucked up under the boat or anything like that?
It's magically enchanted, so you have like a good 10 or so feet beneath the boat, so you can swim.
Boy.
And there's fish and stuff there as well. Like, it's carefully maintained, so they're a nice fish. Like, they're not going to try and eat you fish. So you can swim with fishes essentially under the boat.
Why did we not sail with this boat last time?
I didn't think we have the budget.
Chris sits on the side of the boat, like on the side of the little hole, puts his feet in, and he goes, "You didn't sail with this last time because this cost a bloody fortune." And as it happens, the Rasty owes me a favour, and he was in harbour. He doesn't normally come this far out. He does like yachting trips for the extremely wealthy out in Hope's Wharf and the between the islands out that way. He was only by chance. He happened to come say hello a couple of weeks back.
Retsam mentally counts the 14 gold he was given. Cost a fortune, you say?
A fortune to most people is 14 gold. Most people see a gold for a year's worth of work. All right, and to be fair, we bought some of the most expensive property in the city through Zanzyk funds, and then we're building it up to further invest in the city. That I've given you is a small fortune. Not to mention, there's more coming. It's just the investments haven't returned yet, though I'm satisfied
it's okay.
They will be soon.
I do believe I am technically the richest member of the group now.
Alice chuckles.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think he gestures to Retsam. Based on the coin's appearance, I think he may well be, once he managed to shift all that jewellery.
Oh shit, I forgot about that. Yeah.
About that.
Same.
Speaking of which, says Chris, did you bring that with you?
Of course not.
Of course not. Shame.
I'm not going to risk dropping it in the ocean.
I mean, did you bring it with you on the trip? Like, is it in your room?
No.
Yeah, because you could sell some of it out here, and that way you don't like lower the price by overfilling the market.
It's okay. I have a plan.
That worries me more than you realise.
You're gonna give it all to the orphanage, aren't you?
Fuck no.
No. This is how we can lure in the Red Dragon.
Can we not do that, please? Not anytime soon, anyway.
We are not going to confront the Red Queen just yet.
We are going to at some point, but
Yes.
I really don't want to die. She looks to Zanzyk.
At least after the vacation.
Ross, Xanthus takes off the cloak, unties the sleeves, stashes them on the side, and just fucking jumps in the water.
Yep, it's actually a lovely temperature.
Ooh.
Like it's like going to the Caribbean and just taking a dip.
Nice.
Like the perfect summer's day. Like it's warm, it's pleasant. There's like fish. Like it's kind of like, when you go and have like certain foot treatments, like the fish just start eating dead skin at your feet. Like instantly, there's like fish just like immediately. Like this is like a swimming pool. It's a spa. It's like, what the fuck have I just got into? But it feels
This
great.
is
Like,
different.
it's nice. It's nice. It's like living in the lap of luxury,
Mm.
and it's odd for all of you.
Yeah. So that's what this is like.
I think I'm going to do the same then, and going in my shorts. By the way, when I do actually take off all the clothing, you can see that there's huge amounts of scarification on the skin, and it looks like symbols of old dead gods and wardings and stuff.
Ooh.
So it's literally, basically all over the body. But I'm going in the water.
Alice will go upstairs and come back downstairs, changed with, and Little's changed as well.
It's like wearing my first swimming trunks.
It's so adorable.
And an inflatable sheep's bladder.
And then he's got two of those around his arms. They're called armbands.
Yeah.
Floaties.
Yeah.
On her right shoulder, she has what looks like a birthmark. But it's the same design that I posted on the picture of the acorn.
Nice.
You're going to have to give a verbal
Oh,
description of that.
podcast viewers.
Yes.
It is a very swirly tribal mark on her shoulder. It's only a couple of shades darker than her skin tone. It's very faint, but you can see it under the light.
And as the rest of the warning party have almost second to choose what they wish to do, some of them taking a dip, that is where we're going to draw tonight's session to a close, as they're beginning to enjoy their vacation. And it's not quite a beach holiday yet, but they're in the bottom of a luxury yacht, enjoying what is essentially an enchanted swimming pool attached to the ocean itself.
Come back next week to figure out what goes terribly wrong and how we all die.
Oh, come on now.
What we see here is a psychoanalysis of my players' incessant paranoia, because they think I'm just an evil bastard.
I've known
You're
you for
not
13 years.
Are you disputing that?
I've known you
Change
for
my
literally
mind, Ross.
more than half my life,
Look,
Ross.
all I have to say is literally, it's the lowest of the lows feels a lot worse when you've experienced the highest of the highs.
Yeah.
If you think this is the highest of the
See?
highs, you don't
Bastard!
Ladies and gentlemen, that's why we're ending this session, because yes, the DM is a bastard. But every DM must be a bastard to achieve true storytelling perfection.
Fair.
Can't argue with that.